Hello and welcome, and today I have a very special guest. Now, 5 years ago, there was a little thing called COVID-19, and we were stuck in our house for several months, and I started a podcast with my older daughter, Addie, and it was the Addie Daddy Show, and if you watched any of that or heard any of that, towards the end, we started letting my next guest come in and act a fool. And there were several videos. Please don't talk until you're talked to. And that was 5 years ago. And now that little person is now 9 years old. And she has requested to be on podcast. So my guest today is my youngest daughter, Lily Roughton.
Yes.
And she would like to come on. And we have a local theme park here called Kentucky Kingdom. And she would really like to talk about it. So Lily, welcome.
Yay. So,
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I like food.
You like food?
Yes.
But we all know, and not all of us, but the ones that live in this house know that's not entirely true.
I like some foods.
You enjoy queso and
tacos.
Cereal.
Yes, and tacos.
And tacos. It's not really what I would call a food lover.
I like certain foods.
Yes. Well, we all
like a certain food lover.
But mostly you, I would say, despise food more than you love food. Because
I would say despise.
Well, there are far more things that you don't like than you do like.
Yes.
Is that
but
fair
there's
to say?
far more things I haven't tried that we don't know if I don't like or not, to be fair.
Well, you also don't like to try things, so how will we ever know?
I do like to try things
what?
when they look yummy. When they look yummy.
I mean, that's fair.
They have to be looking yummy for me to try them.
Yeah. And you mean yummy in the food way, not like when your dad's out at the pool looking like a snack?
Oh.
It's going to be one of those kind of days, I think. All right. Well, now, much like the coronavirus summer, we are stuck in the house again for several months because for some reason these kids do not have to be in school for months at a time during the summer, and I really just don't know what to do with myself because they're always here.
Because he loves us so much, he doesn't know what to do with us. Huh!
That's a wink at the camera for those who aren't watching. Are you offended by that? You forgot your pearls. Well, one thing that we have been doing, though, this summer is going to
Kentucky Kingdom. Woo!
That's right, and that's what we're here to talk about. So, Lily, let's not talk about Hurricane Bay yet, but what do you like about Kentucky Kingdom?
I like the spinning squirrel ride.
All right, now you're going to get a little bit closer to the microphone, please.
I like the spinning squirrel ride.
Now,
you're like it's like the squirrels, and then there's like a frog light that's like the same thing, but they're frogs. And like you go up and forward, like you go around in a circle, and you go up and down like that, and around in a circle. It's very fun.
Yes, we have
but there's an insanely long line last time.
Oh, well, we have a theme park here in Louisville, and it is Kentucky Kingdom, and it has been around since I was very small. And for several years, it was closed before you were born. It went out of business, and it just sat there abandoned, you know, like your shows on YouTube. Creepy theme park with no one there. Yeah. And then it was bought by a company that owns another regional theme park here. And it was revitalized, and then it was sold to the company that owns Dolly World, Dolly Parton's theme park. And they decided, hey, as long as we've got this thing here, let's actually put some money into it. And they have rethemed and added new rides this year and a new mascot, a fancy squirrel. Now, Lily, be careful with your cables and things that you've got going on there, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I had to grab my little phone real quick. I wanted to see the actual name of this ride and what's going on. So the new area is called Discovery Meadow, featuring Scout the Squirrel, the newest mascot for Kentucky Kingdom, to join King Louie. Yes, Lily, go ahead.
It's where fun is always blooming.
Is that really what it says?
All the people that work there, almost everyone has a shirt that says on the back of it, fun. It's where all the fun is blooming, or something like that, where fun is always blooming.
The marketing is working on the little one. So you like the little squirrel ride where it goes in a circle?
Yes.
And I'll be honest, as a man of a certain age, those rides don't really appeal to me as much, but this little one appeals to me, so I went on the ride with her, and also as a man of a certain age, I got a little bit sick to my stomach. It's a lot of spinning around in a circle, and you really have to find a point to focus on. So enjoy your young years, Lily, because they are fleeting, and one day you'll be an old man.
You want to talk about
on the precipice of death like your father.
You want to talk about when you spin the teacups too fast and it made us both dizzy? You want to talk about that?
No, but I would like to talk about when I spun the teacups too fast. Spinned? You've not been out of school for 10 years. What are you talking about?
Spindies.
Please tell me about the teacups. Now, these are not to be confused with the Disney World teacups, but it's a similar theme. Yes, Lily, go.
Okay, so they're around maybe two of these chairs combined, like in a circle.
For the people who are just listening, they're about, let's say 8 feet wide.
Like probably, depending on how many people you have in your party, probably 5 people can fit in there at a time, depending on the weight and stuff. 5 people can fit in there, depending if you're super small. Like kids wise, probably 5. Like adult wise, maybe 3. Depends if you're
We're getting lost in the weeds of how many people can fit in it. Please just describe.
Okay, so they have it's very fancy looking though. There's these little teacup handles, and then there's multiple of these, and there's this little pad in the middle, and we were spinning it, and it kept going around, and then we got it, and it went so fast, and it made us both dizzy.
And whose fault was it?
Yours.
I would say it was not quite my fault as much as I was begged to get on the teacups, and if they don't spin, it's not fun. Then it's just going, and you're not even doing anything.
Yeah, but
now you're also a big fan of the bumper cars. Is that correct?
Well, yes, but they're very loud. Very. When I say very, I mean very loud.
And you would know very loud, so that's good, because you are also quite loud most of the time. Now, so during the summer, though, we tend to shy away from the rides because, unlike other places, there's not a lot of shade on these rides. And just last week, check local listings, but it was higher. It was in the upper 90s every day. And it's really not fun to stand in a black-topped theme park and wait in line for something like that. Especially because my sweet children, both of them, this one and the older one, who's also been on the podcast before, they don't care for the roller coasters and what their mom and I would call the fun rides quite yet. Now, what is that about that you don't want to go on a roller coaster? Lily.
They go too high and too fast. And we're gonna switch to another theme park real quick. So you know Slinky Dog Dash in Disney World?
Yes.
You know that one? That one made me feel sick. So I just
Well, you were 6 years old the last time you rode on it, so maybe the next time we go and give it another shot.
Maybe.
You brought up Slinky Dog Dash. Now, when we were at Disney, you tried to do more rides. And you've been to Disney several times, including when you were just 6 weeks old for the first time. But when we're at Kentucky Kingdom, they don't really have... One of the magic things of Disney is that they have rides for all ages that not only are they for little ones, but little ones with their parents also enjoy it, and the parents enjoy it as well. And even the bigger rides, most little kids can also get on and enjoy. Now, that is not the case at most theme parks, including our very own Kentucky Kingdom. We have either the kid-size rides for kid-size people, like my very lovely guest today, or they have roller coasters. Yes. Now, the roller coasters, though, are pretty great. I have not ridden them in years because I've had, the Buzzkill twins for years. And
we're not twins.
You're not Buzzkills either. I'm just making jokes, Lily, at your expense. I know. It's fun to do. But they do have a few little rides that they like to ride. However, for me, and what I've forced the children into, the real appeal, because, and again, unlike Disney, our theme park is only open seasonally. So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, really, it's open during the week. They have a lot of staff that is people who go to our local public schools. And during the week, they are closed while school is in and when school goes back. So they're only open on the weekends after that. So we only really get to experience it during the summer when it is ultra hot. So we primarily go to Hurricane Bay, which is their water park. Now, what do you think about that?
Where do I start? It's amazing. It's amazing. We can start about... So, there's the wave pool. And the wave pool waves are lame this year. They used to be, like, super high and, like, very fluid. But, like, they're just small, like...
Okay, she is doing waves with her hands, even though I've asked her not to do it on mic because you can't see what you're doing with your hands. Now, you say they're fluid. What are they made of this year? Because I believe they're still fluid.
But, like...
They are water.
But, like, they're very small.
Small? Now, she brings up a good point. When I was a child going to Hurricane Bay when it first opened, back in 100,000 years ago, we would get on our dinosaurs and we would head down to the park. And
Rawr.
Yes, that was how my dinosaur started. He was a little guy. He wasn't a T-Rex, if that's what you're picturing. He was. And we would get into our tubes and get into the waves, and boy, it was really something. They had once an hour. They had waves that I would classify as probably far too dangerous, and it's probably why they don't do it any longer. You would get, in my head, I don't know, 20, 30 feet high waves. I'm sure they're not. It's a lot of screaming into the microphone. I'm sure that's not the case. The pool's about 6 feet deep, and I'd say the waves were probably, the water would be 12 feet high then. So it would be twice what the water was, if I had to guess. And then half the people had tubes, and the other half were just down there fighting for their lives without a tube. And you would go up in the air and land on somebody, and they'd end up in your tube with you. And the lifeguards were diving in, saving people constantly. And it all, in my head, doesn't seem right, because it seems like there's no way it was that dangerous. But then if you've ever heard anything about Action Park in New Jersey or seen any of those documentaries on YouTube or Max, it really, I believe it probably was that way. It was, we like to say, it was the 90s. That's just how it was. Things were more dangerous. And to think that those waves ever existed, I think I'm boring Lily with my story. She's looking away. But now this year, even last year, they had big waves, yes?
Yeah. They were, like, really big, and they're really fun. But, like, I guess now, to be fair, there's more smaller kids coming in. So now the small kid wave pool has gigantic waves.
Yes, they do have a second wave pool for smaller kiddos, and those waves do look bigger because the water is shallower. So the waves are hitting hard. They're cresting, and they're actually, people are having a good time if they have smaller people. In the main wave pool, when they're doing the waves, for some reason, the waves come far less frequently as well. This last week, we were there for about a half an hour sitting in the wave pool, just waiting, hanging out, and the waves never came. So I don't know what's going on there. But the wave pool is no longer the main attraction. That, when I was a kid, that was, now Lily, I know it's hard to imagine, again, me being little. When I was your age, we had to go to Indiana for the water park because there wasn't one in Kentucky. They had not built Hurricane Bay yet, if you can believe that. And your pawpaw used to take me to a place called Wave Tech, and all it was a wave pool in an arcade. That was the whole thing. There were no other rides. You just went out there and got in a wave pool, and you were happy to have it because, your dinosaurs were out there getting their water, grazing in the backyard. Abraham Lincoln stopped by on the boogie board.
Yes, Abraham Lincoln, the president, Mr. President, was there, having his swimming jorts on and having a good time with the civilians.
He was easy to find when he went under with the lifeguards because he had his big hat on still. He had his black shorts because he's very official, but stovetop, whatever. Stovetop stuffing, whatever that hat was that he's got. He had it on at all times. But I'm just telling you, back in those days, we didn't have slides. You had to go to a separate water park for slides, which is just insane. How about this? We would swim, we'd be soaking wet, and then go in the arcade and play video games and get shocked because everybody was wet in the video arcade. That's how... And that was the 80s. That wasn't even the 90s, Lily. It was a wild time to be alive. So, when they built the water park here, they said the wave pool will not be our only feature. What else do they have?
They have...
Let's go one at a time. What's the next thing?
Okay, so they have Adventure River. And man, do they need to smooth down those sides. Like, me and my mom, we both scratched our elbows against there.
They are not the only ones who scratch their elbows.
It hurts.
I'm looking up the exact name of...
Adventure River.
I don't believe it's called Adventure River. I just want to make sure we get the name right. They have, when they were first built, they put in a lazy river, which is honestly one of the best things that, as a country, we've ever come up with, the lazy river.
Yes. Amazing.
They also have, we're getting close here to what it's called. Hold up, drum roll, Lily, I apologize. It is called Adventure River. Wow, nothing. I'm getting nothing from you. Okay. Well, I did not realize. I thought that's just what we called it for fun because we like to have a good time when we're out and about.
Nope, it's called Adventure River.
When you were quite little...
It's an adventure for a reason.
During the previous podcast, when she would show in and spank her rear end and act a fool at the end of these shows, she was too small to go the Adventure River, and me and Adeline would be so sad because we'd go to the water park and old little bits wouldn't be able to get in the fun time because she was too short. But now, she's tall, and she's a good time.
Probably like 5 inches taller than the
I would say... Well, yeah, I was going to say you're about 2 feet taller than you were then because you're growing and invading like a weed. Now, you brought up the walls there. It is quite dangerous. Everybody scrapes their knees and their elbows. It's part of being a child. It's part of being an old man and an old woman like me and your mom when we go in there.
It's just part of life.
We leave with scrapes on our bobos. But what is fun about the Adventure River?
You go, so Lazy River, you go slow, but the Adventure River, you go fast. And the fun part is when you go to, the side of the river, and there's, jets, and you just get in front of the jets and you'd be going, at this, at a decent speed. But when you're on the Adventure River, you go kind of fast.
Now jets, in the air, like a plane?
No, water jets. They spit out fast water.
If you missed it in the video, but you could hear the audio, we did not just go to the water park. That was just her doing sound effects of what the jet sounds like. Can you do it again? Well, that actually sounds more like the dogs having a cup of water than... Oh, they're... A little ASMR for the podcast. So, yes, she brought up the Lazy River and the Adventure River. The Lazy River is more of you get in your tube and you float. This has what would traditionally be called pool noodles. And sometimes you get one, sometimes people have 12.
And they stack up. And there's no floats left for anybody else.
Yes, they're Adventure River beavers, and they just take what they can. They make their own little boat out of it and float down. Now, there's a fun waterfall there.
Yeah, no, that's in the Lazy River.
Talking about, no.
Yeah, there's a waterfall in the Lazy River.
There is, but that's not the fun waterfall. The Adventure River, where you go underneath.
Oh, yeah, there's
okay, you're not in the microphone anymore.
Oh, there's a little area, and there is, a big waterfall, an actual, mini, about, probably, the height of this room. So, from here up to the roof.
Spatially, this would be about 8 feet of a ceiling in the basement here. But I would say the waterfall is probably higher than that, but...
I would say it's about that size.
Well, agree to disagree, who's to say, but regardless, the waterfall, it doesn't seem like it ends when you get underneath it because there are fast jets at the bottom. So what I like to do is go under the waterfall every time, but you have to tuck your knees and your elbows in because they have fast jets. The water's coming on top of you as hard as it can, but then underneath it's spraying you and blowing you as fast as you can. And if you hit the wall, when those water jets are spraying, scrape your elbow, scrape your knee. So you got to tuck it in tight.
Painful, just plain on painful.
Well, then when you round that corner, you get to see the attraction that you went on last year for the first time, the big water slides, the high slides. You want to discuss your big, brave trip down the blue double hump slide?
Okay, so there's like this, like, probably like around like maybe
Stop trying to
30 feet.
No, it's so much higher. Stop trying to gauge what you think these things are, and I'll just tell you.
It's very high, and it's like it is like bumpy, and like the entire time you feel like you're just gonna fly off of it. And
what is it?
It's I don't know. What it's called.
It is a water slide.
Oh, yes, it is a water slide.
This one is called the Wave Runner, is the actual name.
Oh, okay.
And you said 30 feet?
Yeah.
Would you be surprised if I told you it was 66 feet?
Oh. Whoo!
It is you will experience, quote, airtime on this triple bump speed slide. Now, I will say,
airtime.
Last year, my wife, she was gone quite a bit of the summer with various mission trips and things that she was on, and she did not get to experience this with us. But me and the girls would go several times to the park, and every time we would look at this slide, and Lily would say,
that might be fun.
I think I kind of want to ride that slide. And I'd say, well, I'm not going to make you do it because much like this one, her big sister does not care for big rides and too many thrills. They're more of a nice, good time, but not a fast, scary time.
Addie might have had a heart attack if she saw me go down that slide. She might have had a heart attack.
Well, sweet Addie almost had a heart attack thinking about it. So, yes. Were we there by ourselves that time? Was she at camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was at camp.
So, one week, my wife was in Africa, and big sister was at summer camp.
I think science camp. Yeah, she went to science camp.
Regardless, she was at summer camp, and so me and Lily went by ourselves, and she said, I think today's the day. And being the brave father, I said, all right, well, let's go. This sounds like a good time. I've been waiting to go. But then, it looks high from the ground. It looks intimidating. But when you start walking up the 6th flight of stairs to get there, it's a lot worse. There's no little lift or elevator or anything, and you're just trudging up these steps, and you go, I've never been...
The adrenaline stairs.
The adrenaline stairs, yes. I've never myself been a big fan of heights. So, probably about 30 feet up, I start looking down and go, this may not be Dad's best day. He is not real excited, as you could see most of the theme park. But then the stairs, they keep on going.
Keep on going. More adrenaline builds up and more and more and more.
Well, I'm not sure if that's what I would call what happened, because, lest you forget, we get to the top, and I'm going to check the name of it. And honestly, we're not at the top because there's also something called the deep water dive that is, let's see.
Well, it's at the very top.
121 feet, the other one that drops straight down. So we get about halfway up the stairs, and some people are still going to the top to the one that drops straight down. But we're going to the triple bump, whatever I just called it.
The triple bump.
And you start getting those butterflies in your basket. And you start realizing, no, I don't know about this. And I don't love heights. And Lily, you had a little bit of a nervous face on. But I said, hey, you know what? I will go ahead and do this first. So you'll see it's okay. Because as much as I did not want to go down that water slide, I did not want to walk down all those stairs either. So my cowardice was beaten by my laziness. And I crossed my ankles and got on this thing. And it was fast. And it wasn't not terrifying, I can tell you that. As you bump, as you, quote, get a little air as you fly off of it when you're a heavier person than whatever you weigh. Did your back never come off of it?
No.
Well, yeah. I had, for the people watching, just a little bit of this. When you get to the bumps, as they dropped, I didn't drop straight down. I came off of it a little bit and then landed. It was terrifying.
So, honestly, there's like an old lady there, and she was very nice, and she comforted me, so I went down it, because it was her first time too, and she was also very scared.
An old lady. Was she 20? Like, how old was she?
Probably grandma's age.
Your grandma's old lady? Do you need to cut this out? Am I going to send this to her and say, Lily said you're an old lady?
She would probably agree, to be honest.
Would it surprise you, Lily, if I told you there was no one else on the top of that slide that day, just me and you, and that's the old lady who haunts the park?
No.
That she drowned in the lazy river?
No, she came up after us.
Wow, spooky. Some creepypasta, Lily.
Oh, shush.
Oh, shush, she says. Okay.
There's a whole group behind us with her.
Oh, it was from that school they all drowned in the lazy river, and there was all the ghosts.
Nobody's drowning in the lazy river. It's lazy for a reason.
Well, they used to just call it the super fun river. They call it the, quote, lazy river because the lifeguards there used to be real lazy and not pay attention, and they let 30 people drown that day. Well, you know what? Roll your eyes some more. Come over there. I will turn this camera off and these microphones, and we will deal with it.
Great.
Okay, so, yes, actually no one had drowned to my knowledge there, but Lily was comforted by the old woman / ghost of the park, and now how was the ride down?
Oh, it was terrifying. Like at the last jump, at the little last not jump bump, I was really scared. And there's just a ton of water just went up my nose.
Up her nose. Yep. Well, you're supposed to cross your nose before you go down the thing so it doesn't fill up with water.
Did you cross your nose?
I did, for good luck.
It's not impossible.
Well,
it's not impossible, but it's very hard. Probably.
You can't cross your nose.
Unless you have like a broken bone in your nose, then maybe.
Maybe. So, okay. Well, we only did that once, and I was told that was fun, never again, by Lily. So, much the same answer her sister gave to Tower of Terror. Now, then, you go back around the corner to the rest of the park. Tell me about the regular lazy river, Lily.
So, lazy river, as it seems, it's lazy. You get like these tube floats, probably around this size, of these chairs. Stop
comparing it to the chairs. Typical, floats. I would say standard inner tube size.
Yeah. And they're white and some blue ones. Like, there's big blue ones and then there's small blue ones.
Why is that important to the story?
I don't know. 'Cause I like saying colors.
That's
colors are fun. So many colors under the sun. Woo! What?
This is you spanking your booty all over again. When you get on the camera and a microphone. My goodness. All right, so now I will go out on a limb. So typically we go around the Adventure River 3 to 4 times. It's a little zippier. We have a good time. Now the lazy river, your eyes start glazing over because you don't like to be too lazy unless it's you sleep until 11 a.m. during the summer.
I don't know what I'm about. I sleep till... Dad, I don't sleep till 11. I sleep till 12.
Well, today you got up at 11, so thank you for gracing us.
I actually got up at 10, sadly.
That's not what your sister, who knows how to tell time, said.
Because when I woke up, it was like 10:57.
That's 11. That's 3 minutes from 11 o'clock. It's 57 minutes away from 10.
What?
10 o'clock is 1000. 10:57, 1057 is 57 away. And that's been math time with Lily and Dad, catching up on summer break. All right, so.
I already have math books. I don't need more math.
Oh, math. Who am I? A boy who's going to be a scientist? I'm just going to be a pretty lady.
You mean a boy that's going to end up working at the dump because you can't go to college to get more knowledge? You go to Jupiter to get more stupider?
Well, first of all, people who... What are you saying? You got to work on your trash talk, too.
Girls go to college to get more knowledge. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Girls go to college to get crippling debt they'll never dig themselves out of unless they make $1 million. Because
we went to college and got smarter.
Guess what? Me and your mom both went to college. Guess how many millions of dollars we have? 0 millions of dollars. Plot twist, Lily. All right. Enough arguing about our extra education system in this country. All right. So lazy river, slides, water park, or water wave pool.
Whatever you want to call it.
That's about. What else do we do there? Do we do something else? We used to go to the little kid water park, but you know what we go to? Your big slides.
Oh yeah, there's a kid area, and there's like, what is it called, Dad?
Well, you keep talking about it. And
there's like these 4 slides. Green. Wait, sorry. So, smallest one is yellow. Then there's green, orange, and blue. In blue, I had a bad experience personally. I'm pretty sure the water cut off in the middle of the slide when I was going down. It cut off for a second. It did.
I don't know if that's true. I didn't hear any of people's skin hitting the skid as they went down. It is called the Splash Zone Kids Park.
So it cut off, and I got stuck on the side a little bit, and so I pushed my way down, and then I got a little more water.
That's not
and
great.
then I went down for the rest of the way.
At the Splash
It was pitch dark, and I was scared.
Oh, no. It was... Wait, the water cut off at the one that's covered?
Yeah.
Well, that would be scary. You'd have to live in there forever.
No, because you just go down, but because it was big enough for me to get down, but it was scary because there's a little while way to go. So I have not gone down it since.
Well, the Splash Zone is known for mild thrills. You get super soaked with jet sprays in a large tipping bucket in the interactive 4-level water playground.
Tipping bucket feels like tiny little needles in my skin. That's what it feels like.
What?
It feels like tiny little needles stabbing me.
The big bucket?
Yeah.
Now, personally, that is my go-to when you're at that part of the park.
It does a little funny dance and swirls around. I
don't always twirl around.
I will show you a demonstration.
She is on, again, an audio podcast, and she is doing a spin for those watching. And very good, not hitting the microphone, sitting back down. But boy, you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Now, I've only done that spin a handful of times because here's the thing. There's far too many children there in the kids' splash area. What's that about? Because
it's for the kids, literally. It's literally made for kids.
Everybody already has their eye on me because typically I'm there as the only parent, and I already have both of my feet, my toenails painted different colors by my children.
I did a pink one. There's a sunny blue one, too. I did a metallic pink one.
Yes, my right foot is metallic pink currently, and my left foot is metallic blue. Very shiny.
Last time I painted both feet pink, and those stayed for so long.
So the thing...
They're probably still there. Like under those paint.
Could be.
Because Addie didn't wash it all away.
Well, listen, I had a hard time with that paint. I don't know what it was, but it would not come off to save my life.
Oh, yeah. I still have this on here. Who knows when that's going to come off.
All right, we are back now. Apologies. The recorder I had is a, quote, portable recorder. And
its batteries run out without ending an hour at least.
And Lily stole my thunder there. But yes, the batteries making it portable gave out after 30 minutes of recording, which doesn't make it too portable if you only get 30 minutes of battery out of them. So regardless, we're still going. So we were talking about the Splash Zone Kids Park. You are facing away from everybody now, and you're looking at the shelf.
The shelf is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like it.
But you're being very disrespectful to anyone who's watching because they want to see that sweet, sweet face. Oh, sweet Christmas. All right. So, like I said, we're at the Splash Zone. Lily's favorite. It's not Addie's favorite, but she likes to take a break. I will stand there, get a little bit of sun, because typically, you know, when you're in the water park, you're submerged mostly. But my pasty body gets some sunlight on it, and I like to stand there, get a little bit of red or tan, whatever my body's feeling like doing that day. But then at the top is a giant bucket, and it slowly fills up with water.
Not very slowly, though. It kind of goes fast a little bit. That's why most kids just... Well, I'm one of the kids that just sprint across there because I don't like being under the thing. It felt like needles the one time I went under it.
Well, so going back, it slowly fills up with water.
It does not.
And maybe every 10 minutes, it pours all the water out in a huge, huge just dump of water. And I love it because I got very hot every time standing in, just in the sun. However, Lily, you were in line to slide and do your nonsense in the playground. Your mom, Emily, and Wes were all sitting.
Your pants.
They did not join me because they're not fun. And I went to get the big water dump on me, and it hit me at the wrong angle, and I almost lost my pants in the middle of the kids' playground, which would have been bad news bears for all of us.
Yeah, that...
I think that's instant. You lose your season pass. You may have to talk to a police officer if you lose your pants, especially in the kids' area. They tend to frown on that, so...
I mean, who wouldn't, to be fair?
Also,
who wouldn't frown on that?
A personal note, there was also a little kid creep. You heard about the kid creep?
Oh, yeah, there was a little kid creep So we have a friend, and there's
yes. Let's not get into too much details about everyone's children, but
and she's little, and there's this weird kid following her, and then it started crawling up onto her.
Listen, it's never too early to teach your young men not to be creeps. And while this mom did come over and yoink him out of there, he was he followed our friend's daughter for quite a while, maybe a 5-year-old boy crawling on his stomach and then crawling up her leg. It was quite a scene. Between that and my pants coming down, it was one for the memories last time. So, all right, now typically,
thanks for the memories, even if they weren't so good.
Yes, that's a little bit of Fall Out Boy from Lily because she likes classic rock. All right, now, when you leave the water park, it's always sad, but you always feel pretty good because it's pretty hot. You know, you're pretty worn out from bouncing in the waves or in the jets and all the other fun things going on.
But the sad thing is we haven't been getting cinnamon bread.
Well, again, you got to let the host get to that. What is it that you like to do, that you like to eat there so much? But you just said it, so go ahead.
Cinnamon bread!
Now,
that echoed.
Why don't you walk me through the cinnamon bread without telling me either its color or its size? Why don't you just explain it like you would explain bread to somebody?
Well, it's cooked, and it has cinnamon sauce.
Cinnamon sauce.
You pour it on cinnamon sauce, and it's bread, and it's good.
Now, do you know that in college, that was my nickname, cinnamon sauce?
What?
I don't know. So
it was also brown.
That's what color?
No, it was like dark and like hazel brown.
Why are you telling us the color? It's basically a little mini loaf of cinnamon sweetbread that they put some frosting and cinnamon sauce on top and let it melt over.
It's brown.
It is just about the most amazing thing we've ever eaten. And the recipe is different this year.
The sauce is white.
Really, I swear. All right.
And the sauce has brown little bits inside of it.
Now, you bring up a good point. We've only had it a couple of times this year.
Once.
We had it on Passholder Preview. Remember we brought it home? The first night we were there?
Sad. Oh, yeah, 2 times. Yeah.
Last year, the recipe was different, but what was in the bottom of the pan last year? You didn't like that?
No.
Oh, man. There was some kind of hardened... If you're a fan of Jurassic Park, there's a new, Jurassic World movie coming out this summer. But if you remember the amber with the mosquitoes in it that they drill to get the DNA.
Nope.
Well, I'm talking to the listeners, not you. I'm done talking with you, I think, for the rest of the summer. That's not true. But there's this hardened, crystallized sugar in the bottom that is just amazing. You just put it in your mouth and let it melt, and it was the most amazing. It's just butter and sugar and cinnamon, and I don't know what her problem is, why she doesn't like it. It's all the greatest things. But this year they've changed the recipe, but it is still quite delicious and a must-have if you do go to Kentucky Kingdom. I'm not a big snack person there, but that's pretty amazing. But listen, the reason we haven't had it, do you remember why?
Because Mom said it's not special if you have it every time.
Is that what Mom said?
Yeah. She said it's not special if you have it every time.
Now, secret time. Nobody watching or listening, tell her, your mom is wrong. It's special every time. It's my favorite thing to have there.
Yes, it's delicious. And the brownies look amazing, too.
I was not there.
And the cookies.
I was not there to hear that nonsense, but...
You were. You were with us.
I didn't hear it, though. This is the first I've heard of that. I wouldn't have brought it up. Anything that... Never mind. All right, so... Let's not think that this child gets no sugar, though, because what have you had every time that we've been there? We've got a big green tumbler.
Oh, the diamond tumbler.
Is not what you've had. What have you had as a snack?
Well, physically, yes, we have had the diamond tumbler physically every time. But, so there's like...
Wiggles, you got to stop hitting that microphone.
So, every time... What was I going to say? So there's like this slushy and it's like strawberry... strawberry lemonade slushy.
Okay, hang on. Now, I know to you, this might not make any sense, but a slushy and an icy are not the same things. This one is an icy. But yes, go ahead, an icy.
They are.
They are not. And we will get into the minutia of that after this is over. But yes, it is an icy. And what is it?
And then there's strawberry lemonade. What's it called? Fountain drink. That's what it's called. Fountain drink. And we mix them together and... It's amazing.
I assume those were angels singing?
Yes.
Okay. So, the icy... Now, historically, I am a cherry icy stan. That's my favorite.
I'm joking.
Did you at that? What is your favorite when we used to get them at the zoo?
Yeah, it's my... Actually, like blueberry, too.
Well, you're thinking of blue raspberry. That's not actually a color or a fruit in the wild.
There's a YouTube video on it, too.
On what?
On YouTube.
No.
YouTube video.
A YouTube video on what?
On YouTube. It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the YouTube curriculum.
On what topic?
On blue raspberry are not real things.
Oh, okay.
You asked on what? And it's on YouTube.
To be fair, yes. Okay. That is not the context clue. Okay.
It's on a YouTube channel.
All right. So there's a YouTube video on why blue raspberry is not an actual fruit.
Not on this channel.
What?
It's not on this channel.
On what channel?
This channel. About blue raspberry not being a real fruit.
It's not on what channel?
On this channel. It's not on this channel.
Are you talking about on my channel?
Yeah.
She's right.
It's not.
Okay. That's just, again, we're in the weeds of blue raspberry. So I love a cherry icy from my childhood days of Kmart when you would go and they had an icy machine right there. So
what's Kmart?
Oh, man. I'm 100 years old. Okay. Do you know what Walmart is?
Yes, it's a knockoff of Walmart, isn't it?
No, well, Walmart was around, or Kmart was around first, but they couldn't compete. They were a little bit dirty. And they were a little dingier, and I don't know why. They were probably just poorly run, but they were a big deal, to the elderly, like your father. And we would go, and every time we went to the store, which was probably, I was an only child, Grandma would get me a red icy because I was her special little man and a little handsome boy, and I would get my red icy and walk around the store, and it would keep me quiet. So, can you imagine if every time we went to the store, you got a big icy?
That'd be amazing. It'd be my dream.
If they weren't $9 like they are at the Louisville Zoo, shame on you, the zoo.
Shame on you!
Maybe we'd get them more often. But anyway, we have unlimited free ices at Kentucky Kingdom this summer. So, as Lily was saying... Okay, you're pleased with the microphone cord, honey. You got to stop.
Sorry.
That's buzzing. Yeah, but stop picking at your toes, too. You're on camera. Okay. We will get a strawberry, not a cherry icy, a strawberry lemonade flavored icy.
It's so good.
Not a slushy. And the first time that we got them, there was too much foam. I don't think it was mixing properly. And it was impossible to get with the big straw, right? It was hot. We were trying to suck that icy out of there, and there was nothing coming out. So, one of the children, I don't remember which one, was it you or Addie? You can take credit for it if you want. I'm not sure who's
It's Addie.
Addie said, well, why don't we put some liquid in it? So then we went to the soda side of the free drinks and got some regular strawberry lemonade on top. Woo! And it turned into the sip of the summer. Chef's kiss from Lily, yes. So now, because these are creatures of habit, we get this every time, a strawberry icy with strawberry lemonade poured on top.
Once you start something good, that goodness will never end.
Yes, that's right. And on a side note, I was throwing a lot of shade at the Louisville Zoo. Lily, that's maybe a different topic for a different podcast.
Yes.
But we have been going to the zoo as a family since Addie was born, my oldest, and she'll be 14 this year. So for almost 14 years, we've had a family pass to the zoo. Our Louisville Zoo, which is amazing. And like I said, we might talk about it later because that sounds like a good time. We typically go in, both of the girls get an icy, and we get a bag of popcorn. We walk around, see the animals, enjoy a little snack.
But it started getting expensive.
Now, I understand inflation. I understand why they do inflation. But I will say the company that runs the snack bar at the Louisville Zoo is out of control, and if there's anything that can be done about it, any zoo people watching, please. I know that they don't set the prices at the zoo, I don't believe, but the last time we went, a small icy, We're going to do sizes, Lily. An icy about half the size of that tumbler that we have.
It's blue sometimes. There's red, blue, brown, whatever color. Maroon, maybe.
I was not discussing the flavors or colors of the icy. I was going to say it was $9 for a small icy, which is insane. So, or it was 8 or 9. I'm sorry, I don't recall exactly. Maybe it was $8. It was $8. And then we also got a bag of popcorn. And with the Zoo member discount, 2 small, and when I say small, I mean 8 ounce, maybe 10 ounce at the most ices.
Around like this tall.
Sweet goodness, honey. People are not watching this necessarily. They don't know what you're doing with your hands. For, let's say, 10 ounces at the most of icy and a popcorn, $21. And outrageous. If Kentucky Kingdom can do the same thing for $5, the Zoo doesn't have to charge $8. Just saying. Cheap corner with Dad. This is boom, 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 boom. All right. So, anything else you'd like to talk about at the Kentucky Kingdom before we head out of here?
Okay. There's like this little area. There's like a merry-go-round and rides, and like a little corner of the area. There's like little kid rides, and then there's like this one where it's a butterfly. It's like a butterfly ride, and it's like a bicycle. Tricks you into doing work.
You're not on the microphone anymore. I don't know who you're talking to because you're not near the microphone.
And you just like it's like riding a bike, except the trick is it does it. You don't actually need to do it to make it fly. It just flies on its own. So they trick you into making.
It's a little bit like E.T., but they're tricking you into doing some exercise too. But do I get in trouble for making that go up too? The answer is yes.
Not all the time.
We're going too high, you say. We're going too...
Well, I got the fear of heights from you.
Well, that's hardly heights. If we were to fall off of that, we could probably land on our feet with no issue. It's not that high off the ground.
If
you are on the mic
feet.
cable. Well, please, you've got to just like sit in a reasonable fashion as a human being. Well, I don't... Oh, no, not in that. Like you're getting ready to get hit with a stick. So before we go, Lily, was there anything that you like to say? Any final thoughts?
This is fun. This is fun doing podcast, and there's rides fun for everyone. And there's ride fun for everyone. Yes.
There's ride fun for everyone.
Yes.
That's a nice...
And there's some good food, and I would...
And what?
And I would recommend going to the water park.
At Kentucky Kingdom?
Yes.
That is the Hurricane Bay, so...
Hurricane Bay! Woo!
Well, Lily, you've been a pleasure as always, and I hope to have you back sometime to talk about something.
You.
Hey, man, that's not a bad idea. Oh, I love you.
By you.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all later. Bye.